What's up, YouTube? ProTech here, back with another Starcraft 2 video for you today. I just want to give a quick shout out to my man Teebzer for the $50 donation. Thank you so very much for that, dude. And it says, love the videos, keep them coming, with a song request. Unfortunately, I can't play that on YouTube, otherwise my video will get muted or, you know, some kind of a copyright strike or something like that. But I did listen to it. I thought it was great. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you. And everybody else who has supported for this 30-day Twitch ban series. The straw poll has come to a conclusion. We're going to be doing 1 hour plus videos. That's the vote. Got the majority of the vote, so that's what we'll be doing. And I just kind of want to briefly touch up on something here about my 30-day ban. The first thing is that it's been about 7 days, and I have got zero word from Twitch about what's going on. Now, I want to put this into perspective for you. When I first started streaming, the creators of Twitch and the creators of Justin TV, they would consistently reach out to me and ask for feedback, talk with me about things that go on the platform. And a lot of you probably don't know this, but I am actually one of the innovators of the donation model that resides on Twitch these days. I clearly remember Fishsticks having a conversation with Fishsticks on Skype about this model that I'm doing is awesome, and he really thinks that this could be very beneficial to their website. So, you know, I would explain to him in detail what I would do, what I think the process should be, etc., etc. And I am one of the very big factors as to why the donation model resides on Twitch. You know, I can clearly remember having conversations with him and Gunrun and various other people who were, you know, important at that time about developing some kind of subscription system that they could implement into Twitch. For me, in my mind, I've had a very big impact on Twitch and just, you know, in the early development stages. Of course, I have never been able to like blow up my stream over the years. And so, you know, I'm kind of more or less swept under the rug when it comes to people at Twitch giving a shit about me or my stream, which is okay. That's part of life. Can't do anything about that. But to get this kind of negligence from a company that I've invested my entire, no, not my entire life, but a third of my life, because I'm going on 32. I'll be 32 in November, and I've been streaming for roughly 10 years and making content for roughly 10 years. So I've spent about a third of my life dedicated to this platform. You know, to not get any type of communication from Twitch and, you know, to not get the VOD or the evidence of what I did or what it is I said, I just can't begin to wrap my brain around it. And another thing I want to talk about is that if you go to Google and you type in Twitch ban streamers or, you know, something like that, I just find it odd that when you look at some of the more high profile streamers, such as Dr. Disrespect, such as Tfue, such as Amarath, such as Alinity, and various other streamers, you will see that they are committing things that are far more offensive than the things that I do. I've been banned 2 times in the 10 years that I've been streaming. 2 times, that's it. And in both cases, in my opinion, have been coerced by chat and taken completely out of context. And so when I think about this situation, why is it that I am getting this kind of treatment, but others who are more high profile, more prolific, they get unbanned after a week. They get unbanned after like 3 or 4 days for using racial slurs, showing their pussy on stream, videotaping people they're not supposed to. I just think it's weird. I just think that I think it's going to ultimately become a huge problem if Twitch doesn't start taking care of situations like mine on a much larger scale. Because to me, based off of the research that I've done and the information that I have, it's just unjust. It's hypocrisy is what it is. It just isn't fair. So yes, life isn't fair. Life goes on. There are some things that you can change. There are things that you can't change. And so my approach to the 30-day ban is accept it, move on, and make good YouTube content. And that's what we're doing. But I just kind of wanted to put that out there to put it in a perspective of what's going on. I mean, guys, there is a metric ton of content out there where you will see people getting banned on Twitch for doing things that are far more offensive than the things that I've done only 2 times in 9 years, just getting a slap on the wrist and getting unbanned after like 3 days, 4 days. Here I am 7 days into it and I have no communication from Twitch at all. So I don't know, man. It's messed up. It's definitely messed up. It's a prime example of the popular continue to get popular and the less popular continue to get less popular, right? Anyway, without further ado, let's get on into the motherfucking games. All right, boys, we got a Terran Random versus Protoss Random on the Dusty Gorge. I feel pretty confident going into this game. I know my teammate isn't bad, so I've actually lost some games in the past to Helpa. So, Protoss Random, I'm going to open 2 gates. Generally, you want to open 2 gates on this map just because your base is, like, towards the center of the map, and it's, like, the closest location on the map to your opponent's production. So, doing something like 1 gate expand is kind of a bad idea. We're going to assume that he's cannon rushing. Doesn't appear to be. Okay, is. So I got to pull workers here, put them down here. Got the probe, but he definitely is going to send another one. I'm going to block that off so he can't send another probe in. Oh, did he start it down here? And we're like really far behind here. He did open with the forge, so that's okay. And we're just gonna actually expand here. I'm not gonna be able to build anything for my core, so I might as well just use the resources here. It's hilarious that his gateway is like roughly the same timing as mine. Crazy. I actually don't know what the other race is, so I'm actually not going to be aggressive with my stalkers here. If I knew what the other race is, I would, but it could be Oracle, it could be all kinds of different stuff, right? Ah, see. Phoenixes. Alright. So I need to get shield batteries to mitigate the Phoenix damage because he hasn't, the Protoss going air hasn't taken any damage in any way. So if I don't build this, I'm gonna be kind of screwed. You really, you don't want to take any damage to your mineral line here. My infrastructure is going to be pretty far behind. I'm actually going to cut workers here and put up production because I do think that I'm going to get hit by some kind of all-in soon. I don't even think I'm going to have enough stalkers at any point to be able to deal with the Phoenix play. This is kind of the imbalance that you run into with cannon rushing on this map. Good news is he doesn't seem to have any workers on his nat, so I'm not too far behind this Protoss, but I'm definitely super far behind the Phoenix player, which, when you're going for stalkers like this, is not good. Not really sure what I should actually do. Maybe I'll just chrono boost probes and get up a decent saturation. That's probably a fleet beacon. I'm not actually sure how many stalkers you need to one-shot a Phoenix. I should probably figure that out at some point. Get up public gateways. I mean, even if I take a third base, I'm not going to be able to hold it because that Phoenix count is way too high. It just wouldn't be worth the investment, I think. So I think I'm just going to wait until we start putting on aggression to take that third. I feel like we should attack now. Wait for that revelation to go up. So why are you killing your rocks if I want to attack those rocks? Teammates' army value is definitely not high enough to win here, I think. Maybe it is. He does have +1, so that's good. All right. Let's rewind this and kind of take a look and see if there was anything that I could have done better. It is the first game of the day for me, so I definitely, and I forgot to take off my sunglasses. Whoops. Whenever you see a probe on this map, you just have to do this, because this map isn't balanced for cannon rushes, and if the cannon rush goes off, you're just screwed, right? So it shows the pylon. I know from this point forward that he is going for the cannons, and unfortunately, you could see there I was trying to wall off, but he had sent a second probe, so he got the second one in. And when he darted down that way, I was kind of scared that he was going to put a cannon there. So, you know, it definitely sucks having to deal with it like that, but you can't. I've lost so many games on this map where I have gotten cannoned and there's nothing I can do about it. So I think I mean, maybe if I had controlled a little better and actually ended up killing the probe, then I would have been in a much better spot. But so I see the Phoenix here, and it's, you know, when they're going to Stargate like that and they've been unharassed, you're basically kind of screwed. Like, I don't have the production, I don't have the money to deal with Phoenix play. And so realistically, the only thing that I can do is just camp. Wait for Blank for a little bit of mobility. And so, I mean, you know, there's not really anything else I could have done. Maybe I could have gone up to, like, fast High Templar for Archons and put one in the mineral line, but then I wouldn't be able to aggress at all. So here's the thing. Because the Protoss player who ultimately ended up going ground in this game was the guy who did the cannon rush, he didn't really have the resources to make a good army against the Terran army. And so because the guy who went fast Phoenixes, we didn't have like the threat of AoE, right? And so this is why my teammates' composition was really good. And I could just use the Stalkers to tank for whatever ground army that the topside Protoss would have, right? So I'm not actually sure if I played this 100% correctly. I'm kind of just reviewing it and looking over and see if there's anything else I could have realistically done. I don't really think I made any mistakes aside from just not killing the worker early on, which put me super, super, super far behind. But, you know, even if I had tried to take that third base, I definitely would not have been able to keep it. Because if we look, he's been spamming Phoenixes the entire game, right? And he hasn't really been using a lot of lifts. So if I take an exposed expansion, my ability to retain the workers that are going to be built, it's not really there. I mean, look at this. It's 50 for a lift. That's 3 lifts. That's 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. I mean, you can see he's got about 3 lifts on every single one of his workers, or one of his Phoenixes. So if I take an expansion that is, you know, in like a remote location in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, the time that it takes for him to lift all those workers that I build, unless my Stalkers are in perfect position, I'm just going to end up losing all of them. So this is why I opted to stay on 2-base and just do a 2-base all in, because that's how I felt. Based off of this theory right here, of him having too many lifts, it's just how I felt I had a good chance to win. So it actually turned out to be okay. The reason I wanted to attack the back rocks versus going to the right, the top side Protoss, was because I just thought maybe too much time had gone by to where he would have too much AoE, right, for my teammates' army to actually work. And the tanks here are kind of irrelevant because there's one tank and there's one Cyclone. He's got way more enough Phoenixes to DPS those when they live. So the important part of this army is the Marines and the Stalkers. So I blink forward here because he stemmed forward and he stutter stepped forward, and I need to protect his Marines. This is important in dealing with this, right? He needed to wait for me to blink because if you saw before, he had about 2 pages of Marines. Had he waited for me to tank for his army, then this airplay would have been a lot less efficient, right? So because Protoss, he was actually countering, like if you looked, he had 2 robos, right? He was actually countering Blinkstalker play. To me, it would have made a lot more sense for him just to go into Blinkstalker Colossus, because Colossus or Storm synergizes really, really well a Skytoss composition. It's almost unbeatable, and I highly doubt that this attack that we did here would have actually worked if he had been going Colossus versus going Immortal, or even Disruptor. Disruptor would have been perfectly fine there too, in my opinion. All right, boys, we got a Terran Zerg versus a Terran random. Gold, gold, unranked, unranked. So, looks pretty even to me. But, you know, I have mentioned this in the past. Usually when you see, like, first names and handles, they generally aren't very good. Alright, so my teammate doesn't have the basic understanding that you can wall off with 2 structures. So that's a red flag. And when you see red flags and opens, you definitely want to do an all-in. So I will be going for 3 Barracks Reapers this game. Doesn't matter what their races are, none of that matters. I have a red flag teammate. And the decision has already been made. As far as barracks position placement is concerned, you know, ideally you want to have your barracks like towards the ramps or the ledges, because then the travel distance between the 2 bases, it just shaves off a little time, right? However, if you're playing against a Zerg player and an Overlord pops in here, it's actually better to place your barracks like down here. Because oftentimes what you'll see with a Zerg player is he'll pop into the base here, he'll see the 1 barracks, and he won't know what's in production, so he'll run his Overlord away, and he won't dart into the base and get the information of a 3 racks open, right? So, I actually hadn't realized I was playing against Zerg Terran. That's really what I should have done there. Fortunately, the Overlord went that way, so my open is going to go unscouted. So because that first Overlord went to my teammate's base, that means that the Zerg player's on the left side, the Terran player's on the right side. So I want to get into Terran space, I don't want to get into Zerg space. So that's an add-on, I don't know what it's for. When my next Reaper gets there, I'm going to go in. Just going for infantry upgrade. Good micro. SCV production is good. Reaper production is good. Take an expo. Go in for the kill. So good micro, good macro. Terran player is dead. I see my teammate coming up, so I'm gonna link up with his army. Good game. Not much to say here. This was a pretty mismatched game. The opponent's MMR 2,905, so it turns out that the Terran player was actually of low rank and he wasn't of the same skill as me. So not much to say here. Moving on to the next one. All right, boys, we got a PP versus TR. Master League 1v1 Protoss player. I think I've played this guy before, but I can't really ever remember their characters. Either way, I do think this is going to be a difficult game. And I'm definitely going to have to do something about cannons, obviously, because they're gonna cannon. That's just what Protoss does on this map. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take our first Overlord, we're going to put it here. We're going to go 14 gas, 14 pool. And then we're going to expand out here, because Protoss likes to cannon back here, right? I'm putting the Overlord here so that my teammate can react to cannons, but he probably won't. So I do think this will be a difficult game. Get up the Overlord. Put it there. Do a gas trick for an extra free drone. So here come the cannons. There he goes. So now, I either need to go for Banes, or I need to not go for Banes. He has gone for the wall down there. Alright, so he's not going to be able to stop that. I'll move my OV. I'm not going to be able to do anything about it, so I'm going to counter-aggress. And I am going to go for a Baneling Nest because I don't think it's a good idea to try to play out a longer game here. We're gonna go for the top side Protoss because the bottom side Protoss will definitely have a full wall by the time I get there. Alright, cool. Whatever comes out of there, I'm still gonna DPS the pylon. There it is. And he's gone for robotics. So I just need to kind of dance around here. I have no threat of the other Protoss. I need to wait for speed so I can take better trades. Now I can just engage because he won't be able to kill my lings because I have the speed. Got lots of probes here. Go for the pylon. Alright, he's dead. Alright, so let's go over the decision making in this game, okay? So in the loading screen, I know that my teammate is Diamond, and I also know that the Protoss player that I'm playing against is a master level player, and so I think I've played against it before. I can't really remember the characters in his name, but what I do know is that most Protoss players who are of reasonable skill, they're going to abuse the cannon rush, right? So I know they're two Protoss. I know one of them's of reasonable skill. I know that he probably knows that cannons on this map are balanced as hell, and most players don't know how to deal with it. So my choice here is to go for pool, and then try to do damage to the player who didn't cannon. So the scout that my teammate did was awesome, because then from this point, I knew that the bottom side Protoss was going for Forge, meaning I'm not going to waste any time going down to the Protoss player who went for the cannons, right? So because of that scout, that was why my rush was going to be that much more effective, right? And this can be the importance of scouting sometimes. So this Protoss player walled really bad. I was able to kill the pylon. No units came out. And so from this point forward, the game's basically over. And the reason for this is because the bottom side Protoss went for cannons. He killed off the Terran. Terran could just lift and resume his thing. Meanwhile, the bottom side Protoss is really far behind in tech. All I had to do was dance around with my speedling or my Zerglings here, wait for speed, because when your speedlings or your Zerglings are slow, you can't really get a good surround. You can't get really a good engagement until you have the speed. So you just dance around, wait for the speed to kick in, and then from that point, you can start taking good engagement based on how the probes are cluttered up, right? So if this game had progressed and the bottom side Protoss player didn't actually leave the game, what I would have done from this point forward is I just would have let the Reapers DPS the remainder of the probes, go down here, check for an expansion. If there's no expansion, warp in Banes here, because if you're paying attention to the mini-map, you can see that there's an SCV still here, and I could see that there's no production or no structures inside of the mineral line, right? So I would have came down here, checked for a base. There was no base. Make a bunch of Banes, and then force him to pull off the line, and then, you know, it's kind of self-explanatory from that point forward. This can kind of be the drawback when you go for cannons. In order for the cannon rush to work efficiently and work correctly, your teammate can't be doing things like this. Like, he needs to two-gate, he needs to wall. The important thing here is to wall. But they didn't scout my race until really, really late. So maybe he was operating on the assumption that I had gotten Terran or I had gotten Protoss. And if that was the case, the quick robo here may or may not have been good. I don't know. But let's go on to the next game. All right, boys, we got a PT versus ZP. I don't think I've ran into this situation yet in any of my videos so far. You definitely play at a pretty big disadvantage against PZ on this or PT on this map. The good news is that my teammate got Protoss, and so as it turns out, PZ is actually the direct counter to TP. Now, of course, that really all depends on whether or not you've got a decent teammate. I see the gas before the gateway, so that's never a good sign. But I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to open as if I was gonna do a Zergling Bandling all in, and then kind of make a choice based on what I see with my Overlord. I think I just saw some red splotch there. That pool is so damn late. I was like over 50 minerals when I built that pool. Alright. I'm gonna actually just straight up dart in here because I think this is Terran. I'm gonna see what his build is. I see... So that's gonna be a Reaper. He'll probably queue up. If he's gone for 3 racks, he'll be making Reapers, but I gotta come in here and check. Okay, so there's the first Reaper, he's lifting, and now he's going into a reactor. So it should mean there's an expo down there. And so because I've scouted this, I'm gonna go for a Bandling attack. I haven't seen the Reaper in my base yet, so there it is. So there's a second barrack. So Bandling all in here should be good. That is, of course, assuming that Protoss does not go for sentries. Take control of the watchtower here. Maybe send that hurt Zergling up to scout the Protoss. So I'm not really too convinced that this will do some damage, but hopefully it'll buy time for the Phoenixes. I believe there should be bunkers by the time I get up there. Okay, we're just gonna right-click the reactor here and start building some drones. Because they've seen this whole thing coming, so they should be able to defend it. I'm actually gonna build some spores here in case of DT. Haven't scouted Protoss at all. This round, check it there. Let's not do that. I think that's a waste. Let's just go over here and check this guy real quick. Alright, so good decision on not going in. I'll be able to blow this up and then maybe kill some talkers, perhaps. Just going for Robo Bio. Quite a few worker kills there, so that's good. All I need to do here, I think, is go for Zergling, Baneling with creep spread and speed on my Banes. I have pretty good saturation, so I should probably think about taking a third base. Marines are still in that bunker. Let's continue to aggress. Spread our creep. I'm gonna run away from that because I want to retain this army the best I can. Since my teammate doesn't have any like attacker units aside from the Phoenixes, I really kind of need to make sure that I have an ample army to deal with whatever it is they're going to do here, which I believe is going to be a push very soon. Alright, let's poop creep on the expos so they can't take a third easily. Spread our creep. Let's start making some Banes. Alright, so I feel pretty confident. Hopefully I'll have enough time before the Terran player moves across the map. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's taking a third. Oh, he has right there. So I need to make sure that I have enough Banes for when they attack. And it looks like they're going to be pushing pretty soon. Definitely coming soon, I think. Observer. He's still on Phoenixes, which is actually not good. Because their army that they have made can wipe out Phoenixes. He's doing pretty good with his Phoenixes though, I gotta say. Alright, here it comes. So I actually have Bane speed. Good timing on that. I should go up here and see if he broke the rocks. So he didn't break the rocks. We're gonna be pretty mineral heavy, or like not so gas intensive, so I'll take that fourth. Still hasn't taken his third. And I've literally just been waiting for them to attack for like the last 3 minutes. I'm not sure what's going on there. believe. Yeah, let's just do something about that gold base. Oh, here's the imbalance of the map. I can't really engage that because the siege tank, so my teammates' armor value is not very good. Super broken, dude. I'm just gonna give myself an attack path here to work with. Okay, I'm just gonna have to support the carrier army. Get our creep out there. Teammate wants to attack up that way. I don't really have the mineral count to justify this push. Also like to get my 3-3 started here. I don't want to attack into that, it's not worth it. Okay, going into Ultralisk. Let's break those rocks so I can get to Terran's base, his third base. 71 drones. Not the most ideal number, but it'll have to work. So the idea behind the Lingbang composition here is that he's going to be making a lot of Marines, or he's going to be making a lot of like anti-air in the form of Vikings or something like that, right? So if you go for this composition against, or like this comp like really synergizes well with airplay. Lingbang Ultra. I'm making the Banes here because I'm gonna actually, I know there has to be a base there, right? There's no way there's not a base there. So I'm just gonna snipe it. Or maybe two. See if I get it. Too quick on the draw. well, we got the 4th, so that's okay. Getting ultras now. My 3-3 is not done yet. A lot of overseers for... There we go. Use the queens for transfusing, and that's all she wrote. Ah, that was great. But you can kind of see kind of the problem that you run into on that map with Zerg. There's just the way that the map is designed, you can't really aggress, right? And you can't really get too much map control because the way the terrain is designed on the map, you realistically getting in there and being able to do a lot of damage is just not something that you can really do. And it's just kind of funny, whoever made that map didn't really think it through. Because think about it, if you spawn at the base that's close to the middle of the map, the third base is really hard to defend. But it's easy to take. For a Terran, he can just build CC, float it down. And then easy to defend because of terrain. Well, think about it from the Zerg perspective. Holding that third base is really hard to. Now, I was expecting them to attack a lot faster, but they didn't. So that's why my third base was so delayed. The composition that we were going is really, really good, and it's really hard to beat. Unless the Protoss player had gone for something like Tempest, right? If that was Skytoss and Mech, I would have had to change up my style and go Mass Corruptor, Mass Broodlord on a map like that, because any ground army against Mech on that map is really not going to work, and certainly not with their support. Good game. Let's move on to the next one. All right, boys. Next video of, or excuse me, the next game of the video today. Terran Random versus Random. To be honest, I haven't really had too much luck with barcodes recently, so I think I'm just gonna go 3 racks. Racks open here might not necessarily be too bad. We're gonna get real close to the exit point this time around. Mainly because there is a 33% chance that that random player I'm fighting actually got Zerg. So the downside to putting it here is that it can get scouted pretty early. But I think actually what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna wait for 2. Because it's random Terran, right? So if it's random Terran, could be 2 Reapers. But that has changed now because I have got scouted and I see an OB. So I know I can just go across the map. I don't think I'm gonna be able to actually jump up into his main. I'll jump up into his main when I get to... Oh, actually, I forgot my teammate's turn. So I'm gonna just wait here. And I got a teammate coming too, so... Wow. Alright, well, he went for 3 racks too. So I lost the first one, which means I need to go up to a quick 5 racks. He's doing the wrong build. He should have been going like 2 factory Hellion. That build isn't really going to net us too much in the early game. So it kind of stinks, but I actually get to make a Marine here because I went for the quick 5 racks. So I can make a Marine and push that back. Hopefully that Hellion, or that Liberator, ends up doing some damage. Because Zerg player is just going to get too far ahead here soon. Oh, that was really bad. Like, this is so broken, I can't really do anything because of that fucking Overlord on the high ground. Five kills on that. So I would say this is basically over. I don't really think there's going to be much I can do here. Battle cruisers might actually kill that Terran player, but he's probably already transitioned. Like, it's just stupid because you have no ability to kill the Overlord. So he can make the perfect play. Like, if I had sent this Marine down a lot earlier, that Marine just would have died. So I think Mutalist play will probably just end up killing me. And I don't really have a choice but to stay on Reapers. We just gonna have to hope our teammate can pick up the slack. It looks like he actually ended up killing quite a few workers. Let's try to take over that vision. Oh my god.
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 부속 건물 완성.
I gotta start going Marines. And I can start going Marines here because a Terran player has probably already made his transition, but I think the Zerg player is just gonna be able to 1v2. I took way too many damage, like way too much damage to that at the start.
사령부 업그레이드. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
So I went for that trade there because if I can reset, his economy is actually worse than mine because he took so much damage to the Liberator and the
동맹 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 사령부 업그레이드 완료.
Liberator and the battle cruisers.
동맹이 공격 부속 건물 완성. 방력이 고갈되었습니다.
Oh, come on, dude. Repair your plant.
연구 완료.
Like I said, haven't been having much luck with barcodes recently. So again, I'm really far behind. I've been behind this basically this whole game, and my teammate did a good job on the Terran, but him going straight into battle cruiser is just bad. Like you really don't want to be doing that.
부속 건물 완성.
So we're basically, I think we're just gonna end up getting wrecked by Zerg, because there is no way I'm gonna be able to do anything against Zerg here.
부속 건물 완성.
And that guy's on so many
동맹이
bases already.
공격받고 있습니다.
To figure out why in the world I'm lagging.
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹이 업그레이드 완료. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
I don't know what is going on, but I'm getting really horrible FPS, and it's causing a lot of problems right now. Something is lagging me.
부속 건물 완성. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹 기지가 공격받고 있습니다.
Oh, I never built an armory. Fuck. Man, I am having a bad game.
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
I need to go out here and clean up some of this creep.
동맹 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
Is there a creep over here?
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 광맥이 고갈되었습니다.
Man, I really don't know what's lagging me, but I'm getting really bad FPS.
공격받고 있습니다. 광맥이 고갈되었습니다. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
Yes, yes, yes. Just as I deserve.
Getting dropped.
기지가 공격받고 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹이 공격받고
And losing everything because my teammate's losing his side of the map.
광맥이 고갈되었습니다. 동맹이
I get
공격받고
pulled
있습니다.
100% out of
기지가
position because I had to go help my ally when he's the one who should be ahead because he didn't take any of the damage early on.
동맹 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 기지가 공격받고 있습니다.
Alright, well, needless to say, we're all in from here. I just can't get it together, dude. My FPS is too bad. I really don't know where it's coming from.
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
We ended up getting 2-2, so maybe we can do something, but I do have a big army, so there's that.
아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
Yeah, I mean, you can't... When you're playing against decent players, you can't do what this teammate is doing. You need to put something in your comp, right? Mass battlecruisers is just gonna get countered by neural parasite. Right now, I usually get about 250 FPS throughout the whole game. Right now, I'm getting 105. So I don't know what it is that's choking me up here, but we're gonna get that fixed for next game. Either way, I wasn't gonna be able to win this game regardless. Both of the opponents were of reasonable skill, and my teammate was just spamming battlecruisers, so I was screwed either way. I got put like way too far behind at the start because that overlord was spotting my my base, right? And so naturally I'm playing at a huge disadvantage if it's Reaper versus Reaper. I have to skip a Reaper to make a Marine to push that overlord back, right? Now I didn't play the greatest. Obviously I need to restart my computer and all that shit, but even if I had a perfect game, I'm still not gonna win that, so whatever. Moving on. Yo, hi Pimplar, Thanks for 25 bucks, dude. I know I got it in game, but I was a little flustered that game. Thank you so much for that, dude. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoy the content, etc. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, boys. RP versus RT. That's that barcode who was going mass battle cruisers. Hopefully I'll have a better game here. I restarted my computer and my FPS is back up to 250. Definitely didn't have a very good game last game. I think I just needed a restart. I hadn't restarted my computer in a really long time, so. Anyway, got a Protoss teammate. Barcode, definitely not having too much luck with barcodes recently. Hopefully he doesn't play that like that last teammate did. Because the thing is from last game, my teammate, he just kind of played on his own, right? And I had to deal with a Reaperling open basically by myself. We went like Marauder with Hellions into like a Liberator into a Battlecruiser, which would normally be okay. Except the Zerg player, he just outplayed him, right? I mean, I was playing at the disadvantage because I had the Overlord on the high ground, so I could never really leave my base. I didn't know if Terran was going 3 racks. So here we have a forge into a core. Not good. Oh boy. He's never gonna be able to get that cannon rush off. No way, Jose. So normally what I do here is I actually just play against TZ. I play quick muta, but teammate is not impressing me. So I'm gonna try to do a Zergling spam. The unfortunate part is that it's gonna get scouted early on. I wanna only show 4 lings if at all possible. Nice. We're gonna send the red Zergling over to the 3rd to see. Because if there's a 3rd there, it's pretty likely that there is not going to be any type of Baneling play. He went factory, so this isn't gonna work. Fuck. Just kinda hoping he wasn't gonna go factory, but he did. Alright. So I think the best thing I can do here is just go for his 3rd and then transition into muta. Hopefully have good trades. There's no way I'm gonna do damage with that Ling count and that Hellion count. Oh god. I think I'm just gonna die here. My teammate's doing some crazy weird build that makes absolutely no sense. So yeah, absolutely atrocious teammate so far. I don't think the DTs got scouted though, so maybe there's a chance. Oh, nice. Nice. They didn't. The Zerg player didn't have detection. This might actually turn out to be okay. That dude, that evolution chamber that I built to wall off up there was epic. Was absolutely epic. I'm gonna go check for his third again. Alright, let's see. Hopefully... no drones, that's good. Let's actually just make Banes here. I had a really high gas count, and my Spire's not done yet, so... I'll be able to kill some wings here. Maybe not. His queen count is incredibly high. Then his War Prison play did no damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's only on 4 gates. He has no tech. So yeah, I'd say I'm pretty screwed here. I don't think there's any way I can win this. But we'll see. If I do any damage with this, probably not. Too many queens. There's no way that army is going to do anything. A Terran player is like miles ahead of him, I think. Not sure what the plan is there, teammate. So we still don't really have any AoE from my teammate, which means the Terran army is just going to obliterate it, I believe. Maybe not. Actually, the Zerg player saturation is still not very good on his third. Mutas are doing pretty good here.
동맹이 전투 중입니다. 변이 아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹이 전투 중입니다.
I mean, I don't know why my teammate is talking shit. He's not doing well.
변이 완료.
I'm not doing that well either. Still no gold. So, unless my ally starts to build AoE, we're not going to be able to win this, I think. Is that a Colossus? Oh, that's nice. Okay, that'll definitely help.
광맥이 고갈되었습니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
Getting really low FPS again. I don't know what is going on with that.
아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
It looked like he was building roaches.
동맹이 전투 중입니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹이 전투 중입니다.
Please don't storm my army.
광맥이 고갈되었습니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 변이 완료.
Oh, beautiful storms.
동맹이 전투 중입니다.
Terran, man, I tell you what, dude.
광맥이 변이 완료.
Terran is just a really good race in 2v2. Might actually die if he pushes.
광맥이 고갈되었습니다.
Let's go up here immediately and try to take out that turret. Hopefully I've got the time and he doesn't intercept.
동맹이 전투 중입니다.
Oh, that's not a very high marine count. These skins, man, they definitely get in the way sometimes. Oh god, it's a massacre.
아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
Get a hive. There it is, boys. What a game. See, you can see my FPS in the top left of the screen. I don't know why. Here, I'll crop the game capture and show you guys what I'm talking about. Like, you can see my FPS is 114. I'm not overheating. My MS is perfectly fine. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but I don't usually get that low FPS in game. Let's just go over a couple of things here in this rep. This was a very good game. The Zerg player was pretty BM, right? And it was the Barcode, the guy who spammed BCs from last game. So I actually ended up going for the Speedling spam because of the reactor timing of the factory. So you'll notice there is a gas that's spotting this, and I don't know, for some okay. Generally, what you will see with Terran opens is they won't reactor factory off of one gas, right? And so when I looked at the fact that this was going on, because this is my vision, right? I can see the factory and I can see the reactor. I just assumed that he was doing some kind of a bio open, right? I didn't think there would be a factory back there. And so this is why I chose to pull off gas and just spam Zerglings. Now, I can't actually remember if I ended up killing the third base. I think I did. I don't remember. Yeah, that's right. I got the cancel. So from here, okay, I want to show you guys why we actually win this game, okay? Let's take a look at what my teammate has. He has a Twilight Council. His Warp Gate is just finishing. He's got a Stalker. He's got Dark Shrine underway. He actually has no army value at all. None. He has 30 probes and that's it. He literally has no units against 4 Hellions and a shit ton of Zerglings headed our way. Literally none. All right? So look at what happens. So I get up into the base, and just like split second thinking, I put down this evolution chamber, and then look, the Zerglings are funneling in through this little crevice here, and I'm getting a really good surround on his Lings, right? So I'm wiping those out. And then the Hellions, they can't actually even get into the base. Look at that. Fucking epic. This is why we win, because if those Hellions get into our base when my teammate has a grand total of 2 Stalkers, and he's warping in on slow pylon, like a slow field, we die without this evolution chamber, right? Fucking crazy. And then, of course, the Zerg player calls the BMGG. So I didn't actually think we were going to win this game, but what happened was my teammate, he rushed DT, it never got scouted. And so he sent this across the map, and the Zerg player lost so much mining time, right? Look at that. He can't mine here. So that got us kind of, sort of back into the game. But I lost all my workers down here, right? And the issue is that he has a third, and I don't have a third. And this guy built like so many queens. So me being able to do any damage with mutas is kind of not really going to happen because of the transfuses. So it was very, very interesting to actually see. Okay, so let me explain to you why we actually won this game, okay? The Terran player went for 2 Tech Lab reactor, and that's all his production, right? So his army value is never been decent this entire game because he has no other infrastructure. He's only just now putting down his barracks, right? So his army value is very weak compared to like mutas and everything else that's on the map. And then the Zerg player, I don't know if his saturation on his third is just terrible, right? Like my saturation is way better. So the game is stabilized from this point forward, 100%. Also, you see this thing that this guy is doing? He is making way too many workers. Like literally way too many workers. Let's see, he's at 76 and he's on 3 base. This kind of number is what you want on like 4 base. You don't want this. I mean, look at how many he's building and he's still making them. He has 84. That's 84 workers that he's putting into his army. So his army is terrible. He's got 84 workers, but he's got no damn army, right? So the mistakes on the Terran part, I think, is the main reason we win. My teammate definitely, like after the DT open and after we just some fucking miraculous hold, somehow hold on to all that. We were able to stabilize after that. But, you know, as we go later into the game, I mean, this guy has too many workers. 85? You don't want to have 85 workers with Terran, especially if you've got mules. I mean, that's just way too much army supply. And look at this. He's queuing up like 20. Look at this. Now he's down to 51. So he didn't play right. I genuinely believe that he just didn't play right. And of course, we get the revenge shit talk because this guy right here thought that the game was over. Very well played. Very well played. I'm surprised I was able to actually get this. Alright, my dudes, we got Zerg Protoss versus Random Random. I've actually played against that guy before, he's pretty decent. Oh boy. 2 Zerg in this matchup's actually pretty good. Protoss is kind of weak against Zerg in team games, so... I'm going to open with a Speedling spam. Of course, not designed to win the game, but just kind of set the pace for the game. No Bane. Just Ling. Gotta be careful about cannon rushes, but, you know, to be honest, in this season, I haven't really been seeing too many Protoss players cannon with Zerg. As soon as I say that, there's the damn probe. Yeah, I'll have to send this damn... I'm gonna have to send a damn worker down here to find out if he's cannon rushing. There's the probe. Tag the probe. Oh, who's up there? It's kind of hard to tell, but generally when they stay around this long, like scouting, it usually means they're not going to cannon, so I'm not going to worry about it. I have no idea where Zerg spawned, actually. Ah. Zerg has spawned in this location because of this OV. So, I'm going to send that overlord there. Spot for his third. There's a good chance that overlord's like right there. So I'm gonna rally my lings to like hidden locations to go over here and check. Okay, so I'm gonna have to wait until I have speed before I actually push out. He's got his overlord is parked right there, so that's a really good spot for it. It's one of the downsides of playing 2 Zerg, the inability to take out an OV that spots everything till Muta or Hydra. Alright. We're gonna drone. This is all we're gonna make, and we're gonna drone behind it. Go back on gas. And we're actually gonna push Protoss here because he sent 2 adepts across the map. Take a third behind this and get a Baneling Nest. Ah, he's got 2 more adepts. And he's got a Baneling Nest. Alright. So I'm pretty far behind. I've actually played against a Zerg a couple times now that I think about it, and he usually goes for Nidus Network play. We're gonna cancel this. We're gonna cancel that because my teammate built a Bane Nest. Alright, so Zerg player is going to be going Nidus Network, I believe. Protoss player might be going DTs, but I have a lair underway. And his roach count is really, really high. So I'm probably gonna lose my base here. Unless he just defends. Unless he just tries to defend his third. I don't see a lair, I don't see upgrades. Yeah, my third's gonna die here. Definitely have problems in the teammate department. So we are going to get extra economy here, but I'm not sure I'll be able to win. Losing workers here is not that big of a deal because I have the extra economy. Alright, let's try to attack here. He doesn't have any upgrades. I can't give a whole lot of time to Protoss because he's gonna start getting the counter to my army. So I really kind of need to pressure. At least check to see if he has a third. Okay, his third base isn't up yet. I still don't have
광맥이 고갈됐다.
Hydro speed. They're definitely not in a good position right now. Oh, there's a spire here. Ah, and he's supply cap. Fuck. I have no monkey fucking idea how the hell I held that. My teammate also left at a really horrible time, so that's not good. Wasn't really able to abuse the economy. Plus, honestly, the main reason why I got screwed here was because my, when my teammate left, he was fucking supply capped.
광맥이 고갈되었습니다. 동맹이 전투 중입니다.
Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna win that. Alright, bad teammate. Whatever. Can't do much about it. There's not really much to discuss. He was just bad, right? So, moving on. Alright, boys, that is going to conclude today's video. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching today. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Big shout out to Teebser and High Pimplar for the $50 donation and the $25 donation. That was actually during production of this video. Hit that thumbs up, hit that if you like it, hit that thumbs down if you don't. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Have a good day.